Welcome back to Madam Across the New Horizons. I'm dear darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today? It's Friday. I have just noticed that my source scene for Talos Principle is called Talos Principle 2 instead of Talos. How long has that been the case? It's been like 70 episodes or something on Talos Principle. That's a long time to not notice. But alas, sometimes things slip under the radar. It's like that thing. I can't remember where I first saw it. I don't actually know how necessarily true it is. It was probably just from some internet meme, but I was like, whoa, so true. But anyway, hold on. Good evening, everyone. Right now on Fawnhallow, it's 8:58 p.m. on Friday, November 15th, 2024. Visiting a campsite. I think it's going to be Puck. But anyway, another one from Midsummer's Night Dream. But there's a thing I remember seeing on some random internet meme. How true it holds, I suppose. I'll leave it up to you or the excised left for viewer. But it's supposedly that you're still able to read, no matter what, a sentence, as long as the first and the last letter are the same. The middle letters can all be jumbled up. As long as it's the right middle letters, then you'll still be able to read it. Now, of course, you might have immediate questions being like, what if the jumbled up middle letters spell another word? Then you'd read it wrong. Okay, yes, technically true, but I think the premise is that you'd have a context of, or like, it's context of like a message, sentences, all together, which you'd be able to decipher by putting everything together at once. And, you know, as I say, I saw that in a random like internet meme eons ago, and I was just like, oh, you know, I can read this message. Perhaps a bit more difficult if you have dyslexia, so, you know, fair enough. But it's fascinating, like how your mind sort of just skips over typos. I mean, a very popular, famous one, which doesn't work when spoken aloud. You had to go read it. Is the one, I can't remember what the message is, but basically, also there's a lot of people here in the Fawnhallow Square right now. But it's a thing where basically the message has the word "the" written twice in it. Because I think it like spans a line. It ends one of the lines with "the" and then it starts the next line with "the" as well. But it's something which you just don't notice. If you get people to read it out, to pay attention, to make them like see what part they necessarily pay attention to, a lot of the times you'll just like skip over it. So a little bit pause, but it turns out Carrie? Sorry, a jump cut. But yeah, it's Carrie. Who did I predict? I predicted Puck. I don't even remember who Puck is. Is Puck a penguin? Puck. Hold on. I'm picturing, I think, Scooter, but Puck is not. I just searched Puck penguin. That's not very helpful. Animal Crossing is perhaps a bit more. Oh no, hold on. Who was I thinking of? Oh no, hold on. Okay, I was thinking of Puck, but I was imagining Puck with Scooter, who is a duck's colour palette for some reason. Anyway, not a point. The point being, the human brain tends to be pretty good at making connections. So theoretically, pattern recognition is a big one. Where such that, I'm not going to say it's like always possible, and I'm not going to say it's totally impossible either, to be able to read things when they're sort of garbled up. But it's amazing what like sort of assumptions the brain makes as you're reading, you know. You ever read a word and you expect it to be one word and then it's just banana or whatever. Is that how the joke goes? I forget. Which honestly, in my opinion, doesn't make much sense, because I feel like it needs to like be a word which actually has like a plausible sort of lead in into the other one. Banana's too abrupt. Like obviously it works for a joke, but it doesn't work for an analytical perception of like what human reading psychology is like, which is not, I would argue, not really the main point of a lot of jokes, to be honest, but maybe that's not the case. maybe that is how jokes work. Jokes are like, the merit of a joke is worth value on how much it brings to a psychological contribution and study. Imagine that, huh? Anyway, not point. I don't know what point was. I don't know if I had a point. I'm losing it. No, what I was saying is you can jumble up these middle words, and then that's kind of like the difficulty of reading. Although, to be fair, I mean, I'm not really all that well informed about dyslexia, really, and how it actually works about it. I must imagine if it's dyslexia. Well, I don't know. Does it make it easier or worse? Or maybe it doesn't make a difference at dyslexia. Who knows? It's not really my place to say. I wonder if there's like a dyslexia simulator. Maybe there is. Oh, there is. Okay. A friend who has... So actually, someone made a GitHub page on it. Gion? A friend who has dyslexia described to me how she experiences reading. She can read, but it takes a lot of concentration, and the letters seem to jump around. So, okay, so if you took a print screen of what this is going on, maybe it'd actually be readable. It's actually a very cool simulation of it. I remember reading about... I don't even know what this word could be. Typoglycemia? Typoglycemia? What even is this? I mean, like hyperglycemia, yeah, low blood sugar. Typo. Purposive discovery about cognitive processes involved in reading text. Transposed letter effect. Internet meme, hold on. That's an actual term for it. Phenomenon takes place when two letters in a word, typically called a base word, switch positions to create a new string of letters that form a new non-word, typically called a transposed letter, non-word, or TL non-word. It's a form of priming. Psychology, I guess priming being like tapping into what the mind expects, isn't it? Our exposure to one stimulus may influence a response to a subsequent stimulus. Okay. Look at all these terms, very specific terms which I don't know. Fascinating though. I didn't know how the whole Wikipedia does. Of course it does. But to be fair, there have been things I've talked about in the past where, you know, or they certainly have had a Wikipedia article. They've been much more of a smaller scale, if anything. Hold on, I could delete the Everhood thumbnail art. What day is today's Animal Crossing video? I need to stitch them together now in OBS, which is why I'm doing this while I'm recording it, which is, you might say, a little bit excessive, but still. But yeah, the transposed letter effect, I guess that's literally what I was talking about. It's literally what I had in mind. You can switch a thing and it's still just sort of working. Non-word. Student would be more effective prime than would be the non-word stobent for a base word student. What? A non-word letter is created by transposing letters, I missed a sentence, in a base word significantly more effective at being a prime for a base word than would be prime by exchanging letters from a base word with random letters that are originally not part of a base word. I see. Despite the fact that student and stobent are actually pretty similar to each other. Sort of like shape-wise, you know? O and U, pretty close to each other. And B and D, just sort of mirrors. Switching the position of adjacent letters in a word is close transposition. History, distant transposition, transposed word effect. Switching the position of adjacent words in the base word is a transposed word effect. Part of me feels like Wikipedia would just have it in one of its informative actual sentences and it would be like, oh, just like that. Transposition creates a great effect. For example, the white cat ran slowly becomes the cat white ran slowly. Sounds like... Well, that sounds... To me, I say my personal experience, that sounds like it's now translated from a different language or something. Participants are shown to take longer and were more error-prone to reject the transposed word sentence than a control sentence. The white cat ran helpfully. The cat white ran slowly. The white cat ran helpfully. I don't know, when I heard the white cat ran helpfully, I'm somehow picturing a very helpful cat running. This type has been used to provide arguments in favour of parallel serial processing. Whoa, hold on. Psychology's crazy. What is going on? Processing units. Baboons? How do baboons have similar effects? Can baboons even read letters? Or words? Fine evidence suggests that baboons use orthographic processing when reading. Huh. Baboons were asked to classify strings of letters as either words or non-words by selecting certain shapes. The non-words were created by using four-letter words and transposed the middle two. Baboons classified what does TL stand for again? Transposed letter. Classified transposed letter non-words as words significantly more often than double substitution non-words. Huh. That is actually crazy if this is a repeatable experiment. If it survives a replication crisis. The fact that baboons do it as well. Whether that's similar structure of our brains or something, or and it ends up being a much more inherent effect of reading in the first place. Internet meme is typoglycemia. Principles that readers can comprehend text despite spelling errors and misplaced letters and words. It's an urban legend that internet meme, but only appears to be correct. Only appears to be correct. Oh, it's because it's not scientifically proven, right? I see. Oh yeah, this must be one I saw. I seen. According to a research at Cambridge University, it doesn't matter what order the letters and word are, the only important thing is that the first and letter are the right place. Well, that's not true. The rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without problem. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Such a condition is probably called typoglycemia. I've never heard that part of it, but it doesn't distort shorter words, and the assertion that only lateral matters is untrue. Yeah, I mean, that's exactly like what I said. If you had a short one and it switched around, it would be misleading, wouldn't it? It's got to be like a proportional thing. I guess it's kind of like noise within a signal, right? If there's like long enough word, you have a long enough signal, like you can get enough data points out of it, but the noise no longer matters. Something like that, right? Who knows about specifics? But I will say typoglycemia is a great sounding made up term. Excuse me, 100% sounds like a sort of like internet phenomenon. I'm not sure disease is the right word, condition or something. But yeah, I don't really know where I was going with this. It is kind of cool. I mean, even if that meme obviously does not have, I was going to say much of a scientific basis, any scientific basis. Well, okay, not any scientific basis. That particular wording in the meme is incorrect. It's still a very fascinating thing, is it not? To be able to see that and be like, whoa, cool. This is how we can piece together things just through sort of pattern recognition. It's remarkable, isn't it? Well, I think it's a little bit remarkable. Maybe you don't as much, but it's just a fascinating sort of thing that it's even possible to do so. You straight up can just be like, yo, how are we going to string together these words? And you just go be like, let's just do it. Just send it and see what happens. I wonder what the limit is. I see that there must be more experiments done on like the extent of it and that sort of thing. Because I'm just like, obviously, what about how long does a word need to be before there's like a significant trouble in trying to decipher it? I don't know. These are the sort of questions we could be asking. Or maybe people have asked and people have done it. But it's just like, it's definitely one of those things which you sort of like intuitively go, that must be true. Because I mean, you can see that internet meme and be like, whoa, look how not easy it is. Look how plausible it is to read what's going on in this one. It'd feel like a straight up lie if it wasn't able to do that, you know? Yeah. I don't really know where I was going with this. I'd say I've always just more, it's as a curiosity, if anything, of a possibility, of a thing that is and could and will and should be. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what I'm saying with that, but it's just kind of cool. Just kind of cool. It's just kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. Wish I had something else to say about it, but I don't. It's just kind of like one of those, like, that's neat sort of things, isn't it? When you see it and you'd be like, oh, that is kind of neat. It's kind of interesting how that sort of circumstance comes about. How do human beings become so proficient, I suppose, at deciphering what is being said? And the answer is I don't know. I kind of want to try now. Maybe that's how I write this episode's title slash what you call it, description. See how much you can really sort of like get away with. No. See what ends up happening. Because if you can get away with a decent amount while doing it, sort of pushing a limit there. Pushing a limit's not the right word. Testing the waters. Seeing what sort of things you can and cannot do with regards to it. Don't really have a good response in relation to it. Just sort of, huh? You know. I don't know. I just kind of wish it was more to it. Like, there's more you can sink your teeth into. You read it and be like, oh yeah, and then because of X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z, X, Y, Z. But there's only so much. You just sort of go, oh, okay, and that's about it. It's nada, nothing else. Which comes from it, which always seems like a bit of a shame. It's such like a fascinating thing, isn't it? To be able to see the sort of switching of letters. I don't know. It just kind of feels like there should be something more from it, but I don't know if there's any more to sort of garner from it. I don't also know why Kix is so loud today. Am I the only one who's thinking that? Like, him arranging his stuff is so unbelievably loud for some reason. Maybe because it's like right in my ear. Is that why I think it? Who knows? Who knows? Just sort of idle curiosity, if anything. Yeah. I don't really have anything else to say. Should we, let's see what else is on Wikipedia about it. Oh, I reached the bottom. Entropy. Well, information entropy. Isn't this like how much something needs to change? I can't remember. P log P. I do remember that, but I don't remember what it describes intuitively. Oh yeah, okay, no, hold on, I do remember. It's how much information you need to be able to accurately describe something, which I guess that is literally why I asked. But I was just like, what's the proportion of something you need to be able to decipher it? Anyway, this dyslexia thing on GitHub is pretty cool. I'd imagine they just kept it readable by having the first and the last letters still be held in place. Saying that some of it's still pretty difficult to read. I don't know what we're saying. If you're like making a brocomelette of this or something, a Balcrum, Balcrum, I have no idea what bloom roquette, book marley. What's a book marklet? What's a book marklet? Is a bookmark stored in a web browser? Oh. It's like a web-based bookmark. I've actually never heard of that word before. No wonder I didn't know it. Which, to be fair, is quite difficult as well. I mean, if you have dyslexia, you're going to be running into new words all the time. And trying to read them is definitely quite difficult. Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Yeah. I wonder if there's a study on that transposed letter effect and dyslexia. Let's see. Transposed letter effect dyslexia. Chocolate. Previous studies on dyslexic children using alphabetic languages have reported such orthographic reading deficits, but no more. I don't know. Parafoveal processing and transposed letter effects. I feel like I don't really want to read a very dense study of whatever's going on. Seems like a lot. I'm just going to trust what the cliff note says. Anyway, I'm not going to rhyme this episode up here. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, transposed letter effect. It doesn't really work with speech. I was going to try and do something with speech there, but I don't know how to. If you have been trying... What? If you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Adam Across the New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.